Hey, we're back. D, did you get a chance to look at these box offices money that there was just revenue money everywhere this weekend at the box office?
Yeah, man, I was checking it out. It's interesting.
But one of the reasons I wanted to do this because Tyler Perry, I mean, and that's the reason why I wanted to bring this up. Tyler Perry is swinging his bat with the big boys. Now, and I'm saying this, he didn't make any money compared to The Amazing Spider-Man, which grossed this weekend $62 million, but overall total gross is $137 million. But he's in the top 10, and he didn't get the money to what's the word I'm looking for?
The budget.
He didn't get the money in the budget to do a big budget film.
I think he did like 20 million.
Yeah, I mean,
is it 20 million?
Yeah, a total of 45 million.
No, that's his gross. I mean, his budget.
Yeah.
So you look at The Amazing Spider-Man, it was like 230 million.
And if you look at the numbers, I mean, the debt ratio number, you know, what he earned versus what he spent, you know, like, you know, The Amazing Spider-Man, they still need to make over $70 million to break even right now.
Mm-hmm.
Where Tyler Perry already got his money back.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
And then some.
In
his second week.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, hey, I haven't seen it yet.
But I mean, that opens up another can of whoop ass, though, because if you look at the type of movie, the fact that he's making that type of money off of that type of movie...
With that budget says that A, he knows his people, and B, his people need to basically expand. Yeah, I mean, I think this is, in my opinion, and some people disagree with me. I already, Nickel, we done had this Tyler Perry conversation before, but I'd say that this is his crossover movie with the Madea trilogy. Mm-hmm. He'd have made a couple of movies with Catherine Bates. And Alfred Woodard, that movie where they was best friends. I can't think of the name of the movie right now, but he something about pain or something. I can't remember the movie, but with Shania Lathan and the whole group, I can't remember it, but it'll come to me later. Mm-hmm. But you know, they said that was his crossover movie, and I don't think with the Madea trilogy, I think this is his introduction to the crossover. Mm-hmm. Because of the cast that he had in there. I think he had more white people in this cast than he probably ever had in any of his movies.
In the last Madea?
In any of the Madeas.
In which film does he have more white people?
In this movie here, the Tyler Perry Witness Protection.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either, but I've seen the trailers, and you know, he seemed to have you know, a pretty good mixture of cast.
Okay.
And, you know, I think that he's going to introduce it, and it seemed like he's getting some decent, you know, reviews on it. From what I heard, I haven't heard anything bad about it.
Okay.
But I think, hey, good luck, Tyler. I mean, I'm going to support you, man. So, but, you know, hey, but like we said before we left the segment, Usher, stepson, was in a tragic water... he was tubing. I don't know the proper terms for it, but he was water tubing. And for a lot of people who don't understand what tubing is where he's on. Someone is driving a boat, and you have this big
inner tube,
mm-hmm. and you hang on and just ride it. Well, what happened? Someone from their party, someone that was with them, was riding jet skis, and for, I guess, lack of a better words, ran over him. And the young man has been reported by TMZ as being brain dead and not having any brain functions, which is a tragic accident. And it's sad. Little kid was 11 years old. But now this is one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this, and it's kind of segue into another topic. But I have to commend Usher for him being able to put his differences aside. Now, the ones that don't know about Usher and what's going on with Usher is in a real big, bitter,
ugly, Absolutely.
divorce proceeding. I don't know if it's over or not just yet, but it was real ugly. With his ex-wife, she was all in the media, bad mouthing Usher, talking about how much of a horrible person he is, so forth and so on. And you know, he never responded back with the negative remarks, comments, and talking about his ex-wife, but he was wanting the custody of his kids, and she fought him tooth and nail over it. But this is the thing that reason I say I commend him, because after this incident happened, now it's not his child, it's his stepchild, but he was able to put his differences aside and come to her side, and not only just come to her side, he chartered a jet for her to get here to her son's side faster.
Right.
And that's the reason why I say I commend him, because, I mean, as ugly as divorce proceeding got, he pushed that aside. And, you know, he's there for her.
I mean, that shows a high level of compassion. I mean, a lot of people outside of, I guess, black men, a lot of black women are not aware of how strategic the conflicts between us are from outside parties. It's very strategic. You know, a woman, when they separate from a man, she's going to go into survival mode.
Okay.
And along with being in survival mode, you know, is somewhat of some aspect of desperation. So that on top of an already bad attitude is potentially explosive, right? And if, you know, as a black male, if you're not aware of the fact that she's in survival mode and that she is feeling desperate, you know, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? How am I going to make these things work? You know, you don't have any preparation for the attitude.
Right.
And even if you are aware, you still don't have preparation for the attitude, because the attitude, you know, can be overwhelming.
Right.
But the situation that you're describing with Usher, the fact that you said that, you know, he didn't retaliate at any point, he basically kept taking him on the chin.
Exactly.
And then who needs who?
Yeah.
And the intern, right? You know.
Right.
She ended up needing him. He provided a service, and we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah.
You know, does this erase, you know, the fact that he's a horrible person, so on and so forth, according to her?
Right.
You know, is she going to come back and say, you know, well, I said those things out of anger, or is it just going to be, thank you for this one good deed?
Well, we'll see.
Because that takes a hell of a person.
Yeah,
to take that on the chin,
and then put your differences aside and say
they didn't put differences aside.
No, I said for him. I'm talking about him now.
Well, he didn't really have a difference. She was the one that was out there mudslinging.
No, I'm talking about now. I'm talking about at this point now, at this juncture they're at now. He's there for her.
I take it that he's always been there.
Well,
he just wasn't going along with somebody else's program. If he's trying to get custody of the kids, that's a money issue.
Right.
Because those kids for her equate to money.
Yeah.
Child support.
Right.
So if he's trying to get custody of his kids, it's basically, her point of view is like, you're trying to take money out my mouth. You're an ugly person. Why would you try to take money out my mouth? You know, I have these kids. You know, maybe we had them out of love, hopefully, but now they represent, you know,
money, dineros.
Yeah, they got price tags connected to them that you're trying to remove from me.
Right. And I didn't plan to go into the child support thing, but I guess we'll save the child support thing for another topic, because I have my opinions about child support, and I think that child support is, a lot of people, a lot of women use child support as a means of coming up. Exactly. So
because if they're getting child support from this one, that one, and that one, and then they got somebody else that's helping them still, plus they working, that's a lot of cash.
I think, and I know they said that it's not their business what they do with the money once you give them the money. It's not your business what to do with the money. But I'm willing to bet if they was forced to itemize the spending, you know, a 13-year-old kid or a 3-month-old kid don't need no $30,000 and $40,000 a month to be raised on. But you know, they said that
can they even eat that goddamn much?
Well, I think they say it's the lifestyle that he should provide the same type of lifestyle that he's able to live, and so how can you provide the same or equal?
Why not let the child be with the parent that's able to provide that lifestyle if they're going to base it on that?
Well, I think it's one goes to this one thing that you said once before. Is his, her, is what is a Miss, Mrs. and a mistress, and I think they just when it comes to the courtroom, they hold everything.
Well, and that's one of the reasons, going back to where we started with the citations, for especially every man to find out why his signature is so important.
So important.
Find that out. When you find that out, you just unlock some serious information. You find out why the signature is so important. Why you have to take responsibility for something that does not exist.
Well, hey,
so you've heard that twice. So hopefully the wheels is turning like, what the hell is this dude talking about? Taking responsibility for something that does not truly exist.
Wow. So hey, but moving right along. I know we could talk about this forever because I have my opinions and I would love to express them right now. But we have a layout on how the show is going to go. We did a pre-production meeting and we already have a layout, so we don't want to divert from the layout. But one thing that I want to talk about is Barack Obama and his health care. The Obamacare passed, and I ain't gonna say passed. We know it passed, but the Supreme Court ruling said that it wasn't unconstitutional, and that the Obamacare is a tax, which makes it unconstitutional because the federal government can choose to tax you and when they want to tax you and so forth and so on. But this is the thing that I don't understand. Why do black people seem to want to try to flex and show their power and want to not support him, and they're so vocal about not wanting to support him? And I always hear this black agenda, and I'm not exactly sure what is a black agenda. I mean, because if no matter what law number one, he's powerless in state situations. He's powerless. He can't make a state or governor or anything do anything. He can't make him do anything. He can probably try to sanction them and try to restrict their federal funding. He could probably try to do some stuff like that, but he can't get. I mean, I think it would be unfair to the people if he was to say, "I'm not going to give you no money for schools because the governor don't want to
support a particular thing."
Right, but I've never got a quite understanding what a black agenda is.
That's because you weren't involved in the agenda.
Because I can't see him doing passing.
That's not even clear of who's initiating the agenda.
But
that's like me saying the horse agenda. Did the horses initiate it, or did someone else initiate it for the horses? You know what I mean? The bird agenda.
Yeah. But now this is my thing about this black agenda.
The prostitution agenda. I'm saying that, hoping that it's going to trigger something in everybody's mind to know that because we're referred to as black people, we're not a part of the creation of that agenda. So who created the agenda, and what purpose is the agenda truly supposed to serve if you're not aware of even what the agenda is and you're a black person?
And this is the thing that kills me. People want a black agenda, but it's not clear to me. It's not clear what a black agenda is. That's number one. Number two, it's nothing that he's going to be able to do that is going to just solely on a federal level that's solely going to just help black people. I mean, look at civil rights. The civil rights bills were signed, and black people are the only one that can cry, "My civil rights been violated." So it's just no such thing as a black agenda, in my opinion. Unless somebody can show me what different.
Not from a federal standpoint, but I mean, it's the type of thing that inside of the black community, we have to have an agenda.
Yeah.
And in each community, once that agenda is activated, the communities come together and activate still yet another agenda to start empowering us in such a way to, where we don't have to deal with the type of hardships we deal with.
Well, we'll be right back, and we're going to talk more about this black agenda and why or if black people still should support Barack Obama. So, hey, you're listening to TriStar Radio, the Soul Connection, here with AJ
and D.
So, hey, we'll be right back.
We'll be right back.